Recommendation from Miles Austin here on this Friday Piece Talks, aka Foxy Friday. We are looking at a video. There we go. Jon Stewart responding to Tucker Carlson on CNN. I'm real curious about this one. Anything Jon Stewart, that's going to be gold. So let's just jump right into it. Let's see what this piece is.
So, in many ways, you, at least for me, you created or defined American political satire. How has that changed? I mean, it feels to me like the stuff you did, you know, the showing the video and then commenting, it's become, it's everybody does it, and it's
Sure.
it's not even comics. I mean, that's what Tucker Carlson does when he wants to make his points.
Sure.
He's borrowing from your
Yes.
playbook.
Yes. No, it's a real delight knowing. It's always good to arm the most cynical and worst people in media.
But do you look at it and say, now this whole thing is commoditized?
Well, it was commoditized. You know, I wasn't doing it out of gracious altruism. I mean, we were selling Budweiser. It's always been commoditized. I think it's...
Feels like a good time, and I feel very seen right now. This feels like a good time to tell you this stream is brought to you by Cedar Seeds. He's not paying me money. I just figure if you can buy pot seeds from Sam Cedar, you want lefty credentials. Good God. Having a plant in your house, it comes from pot seeds purchased from Sam Cedar. I mean, you got him at that point. What a point in history. So, in many ways, this stream is brought to you by Cedar Seeds, I guess.
You know, there's a lot of talk of exposing absurdity or exposing hypocrisy. What's the point? Well, the point is that this is a relentless fight. They always talk about, you know, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. But it doesn't bend towards justice by gravity. Like, you have to bend it. And there's a bunch of people trying to bend it back. And you use every tool in your arsenal, and none of them will be, you know, the one thing. There is no panacea. It takes, you know, all those different things doing in Washington over these past few years gave me a great understanding of how things actually get done incrementally and sometimes in one fell swoop. But our country is held together by hundreds of really talented legislative aides. Their bosses, many times, are wind-up dolls who really don't know. I mean, half of it, if you go down there, especially the Senate, is like an assisted living facility. Like,
boy, you know, I'd be feeling real smug right now if I'd have been saying something for months like slow, sustainable, but constant pressure is the way to go. Just kidding, I have been, and I am feeling smug. Woo! Great suggestion from Miles Austin. Thank you for letting me just bruise my back from the padding. My God. But he is, I mean, all right, chops busting aside, he's right. And what he's saying here, by the way, what he's saying here about our country being held together by a couple of hundred legislative aides, yeah. When we say, write your representative, the person you're communicating to, funnily enough, is not actually your representative. It's their interns. It's their interns who are going to turn your email, no matter how eloquently you write it, they're going to turn it into a single line on a whiteboard. And that will be one of a number of lines under a column, which simply says, somebody wrote in about this, and on one side of the column, there's going to be for, on the other side, against. And that will be what your email or your letter or your phone call gets translated into. One line on that column. And let me tell you, there aren't many lines on that board at all. And it might not literally be a board. It might be it might be like this Google sheet we use to share links. It might be whatever. The point is, they're going to say to their politician that they are working for, X many people contacted us. They're contacting us about this. And they're not set up. You know how in capitalism everything has just barely what it needs to run. Well, that's how a lot of our legislative offices work. They're not set up to handle a flood of calls. So 5, 6, 10 calls or emails can make a massive difference in the kind of legislation we see. And they know that if somebody is fired up enough to write in or call in about it, then they are going to be representative of a much larger swath of the population. And right now, by the way, it is culturally a habit amongst the right-wingers. And right-wingers, if you're listening, this is something you do well. Credit where it's due. It's a habit amongst them to contact their representatives. And if the rest of us want equal representation to the right-wingers, which I think everybody who's not a right-winger will argue is something we badly need, we should culturally make it a habit to contact our representatives about things we care about. Make it their problem, not yours. Let's let the man keep going.
The intramural sports at the Senate. So, it's held together by these legislative aides that are relentlessly trying to do the right thing, and by the thousands of grassroots activists that are trying to get access. And they're blocked by a moat of lobbyists and moneyed interest that prevent the people in that building from doing the work that best benefits all the people outside of that building. And that's the process. So you have to use every tool you have to permeate that force field.
But presumably the people there who are Republicans, who are conservative Republicans, those aides think they're doing the right thing and they're trying to get across their
Sure, but they're
their
doing
vision.
it, they're honest. Look, if you can find honest brokers down there, you can work with them. What I'm saying is that force field around it is made up of not honest brokers. It's moneyed interests, it's lobbyists, it's people who are weaponizing misinformation and disinformation. And all of those form this, it's the most cloistered
So you
universe.
you found you could deal with very conservative Republicans.
Of course.
Because there was some way to find common ground.
People of good faith. Now, there were huge disagreements about certain things, but when you found someone of good faith, you could always get something done.
Really, really well put. Great clip, great suggestion. Thank you, Miles, for submitting that. I couldn't agree more. In fact, I think we're gonna have a look at the comments here. Your sponsors, Fareed, says Mars Falcon. That's what triggered you, isn't it? John spoke the truth about your wallet. Now get salty. Oh. Wireless Mike, you know we're going to bare naked ladies you again. Damn it, my Wi-Fi died. Now I got to catch up at ×2 speed. Oh. Stand by. Samalama Duma Lama, you assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get through to you, I'm a superhuman, innovative, and I'm made of rubber, so that anything you say is ricocheting off of me and I'll glue it to you. I'm devastating more than ever, demonstrating how to give a mother audience a feeling like it's levitating, never fading, and I know that haters are forever waiting, and for the day that they can say I fell off, they'd be celebrating, cause I know the way to get 'em motivated. I make elevator music, I make elevating music, you make elevator music. Yeah, that is going to absolutely become a tradition I enjoy too much. Leon Chevalier says, £1 million in 6 weeks here in the UK. That's true democracy. Well, hell yeah. I have no idea what we're in reference to, but hell yeah. Mars Falcon, rap God, you know it, baby. So, let's wrap up this segment because the folks watching the VOD will have no idea what this next part's all about. That was fun.